Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast. This is podcast number 76. Sorry for the little bit of delay that we just had. It was some technical difficulties behind the scenes. But anyways, let me go straight into my cohorts, starting off with my boy Steph. Steph, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I had two days to digest the ugly tie at home against the last one of the last teams of the league. Yeah. And so now I'm feeling better. So we'll get into it.
Agreed. How about you, Christian? How are you doing today, bro?
Yeah, I was hoping that we would have just taken care of business and that this could be just a relaxing pod about how we wanted to just beat Benfica for the sake of pride and, make fun of Braga for fucking choking in Tondela. But we don't get to have that podcast, unfortunately. We get to have the slightly panicked, are we really about to bottle this on the last day of the season again podcast? So, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Typical Sporting fashion. We cannot relax for a second. Not even a second. Anyways, let's go straight into the Twitter questions before you move on to the game, because the less said about the game, the better. Let's be real here. First question comes in from our boy Nuno Gabriel at Cativalence on Twitter. He asks two questions, but I'll go with the first one. Serious question. What are everyone's thoughts on Ristovski? Seriously, I admire his gara, much like João Pereira when he was ours, but Risto's first touch is atrocious. So many times yesterday I was yelling at him for bad first touches. Unreal. Steph, I'll pass that one off to you. What are your thoughts on, or I guess he said everyone, so I'll pass it off to everybody. But first, Steph, what are your thoughts on Risto?
I'm not going to take too long because I did, actually give my opinion about Vitovsky. But like Gabriel said, he's full of gara. He fights for every ball. But Gabriel couldn't have said it better. His first touch and even his final touch, his vision is really terrible. And he can cross for shit. So I guess he could be a backup, but he's not the starting right fullback or midfielder that Ruben Amorim is looking for. We need some major upgrades, and Ritovsky is not the solution.
Yeah. How about you, Christian?
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked him. I feel like he's definitely taken he had some players, right? Some players have been better since the restart. Some have been worse. Risto has definitely been worse since the restart. Basically, he is good enough to be a backup, and truthfully, that's what he was supposed to be. I mean, we spent $7.5 million on a right back, right? He was supposed to back him up. And circumstances, unfortunately, led to him playing a lot more than he should have, especially in this 3-5-2, 3-4-3, whatever you want to call it, formation. Like him as the wing back, like he just doesn't have like the quality, the final third, the crossing accuracy. Every now and again, he does put a nice one in, but like it's just not consistent enough. Taking guys on like up and down the flank, like the work ethic is there. But just the quality isn't there. So, yeah, it is what it is. We don't really have anything else right now. But if Porto comes or another right back, Ristovski did extend his contract, so I don't think he's leaving. But, yeah, he shouldn't be playing as much as he is.
If we do get another right back, I wouldn't mind him being a sub. Again, like you said, you hit the nail right on the head. Rosier came for 7.5. And Mama Balde, he should have been the starter. He had 2 starts this season, maybe like 5 appearances total.
Maybe he touched double digits.
Okay,
I think so.
Nonetheless,
yeah.
I don't remember him playing, to be honest.
He hasn't played in a long time.
Exactly, and he also seems like a very injury-prone right back as well. And again, we sold Thierry as well, so. We gave up some spots, so for sure I understand this frustration with Risto, but I still think he's all right. I missed last game, admittedly. I was working, but other than that, I thought he played well in the other games. I think he's okay. But yes, I would not be opposed to a starting right back coming in on the transfer window. Nunu's next question is, why do you think Ruben Amorim played Tiago Tomás up top to start instead of Pedro Mendes? And then why throw him in Thiago's place in the second half when changing the forward clearly wasn't the issue since we couldn't get a decent ball to the front man. Bad decision in my opinion. So yeah, why is Tiago Tomás starting ahead of Pedro Mendes? Steph, I'll give that one to you, dude.
It's got to be a question of performance in practice throughout the week. It's something we're not seeing as fans. It's because it was Silas didn't give him a chance. Kaiser didn't give him a chance. Pizarro hardly gave him a chance, and now Ruben Amorim's not giving him a chance. So now you tend to ask yourself, is this a problem with the older coaches, or is this a problem with the player himself? And Ruben Amorim, so far, he seems to be a fair coach, meaning that if you practice hard, if you show that you're willing to give it all, throughout the games, then most likely is going to give you the nod for you to play, or at least make the squad of 19 now, I believe. Now it's 19 people called to play a game, or at least to make the convocatoria, the squad list. So I think it's a question of whatever the coaches see when he practices on a daily basis at the academy. That's my take on it.
Yeah, and I'd agree with you. Next question comes in from Joel Da Silva at JoLeon_073. And Christian, anything Jersey related, let me just tell you, I'm passing it off to you. He asks, thoughts on the new away shirt. The braille and the line on the bottom left were clearly copied from previous years, but personally, I still like it. What are your thoughts on the jersey?
Yeah, for me, I'll just go 7 out of 10. It's not bad. It's not great. It's actually very similar in color scheme to the one I'm currently wearing, which is just like black. It just looks good with sporting kits, right? Like every black away kit we've had, like including this one, is like there's like a pretty high floor. Like it can't be that bad, Like the scratch is maybe a little bit gimmicky, but it's also kind of cool. Like I definitely can see that some people hate it and some people love it. The one thing for me is that I can't unsee the Monster Energy logo. It looks very, very similar to the Monster Energy logo, which is unfortunate. Unfortunate, because every time I look at it, I immediately think that I need to like uncondition myself to do that so that the shirt will get better for me. But yeah. Overall, 7 out of 10. Not anything, not the greatest shirt they've ever made, but definitely not bad.
Yeah, I'd give that. Steph, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm just gonna throw my 2 cents really fast.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna take long, but it looks like a training jersey.
Exactly.
It doesn't look like a jersey that you use for an official game. I would be fine with it as a training jersey, but that's the away jersey. And that scratch on the shoulder, it is surprising.
It's like what? It's like what? I mean, compared to like the jerseys they sell, the
one you have on now is beautiful. The one you have on.
I agree.
Yeah, I like that one. But that one, it looks like the little.
This one's like a more classic look, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. The little scratch on the shoulder, it looks like. We got hurt in the process of that fucking jersey.
That's what's on the inside, bro. The inside stripe, I guess.
I guess.
And just speaking of training jerseys, Christian actually brought this up earlier. The training jersey, what is it? The green on top and the yellow on the bottom, currently sold out. You can only get it if you're 2XL. So if you're 2XL and want that shirt, jump on it. And honestly, I like those more than our second, that jersey, the one with the claw. I like those yellow and green ones a lot better, to be honest. I was hoping we were having another yellow jersey.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. That the training jersey. It looks a little bit too Brazilian for me, but I'm okay with that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Next question, or Pass Ferreira. No, Pass Ferreira. Next question comes in from exactly. I mean, we're on our way there anyway.
Yeah,
so
we're pretty much there also.
Next question comes in from Alkshit Youth at Alkshit Youth on Twitter. They ask if you guys can bring one Sporting legend back, retired or still playing, which one would it be? Your bet for the Benfica match. We won't answer that one. We'll talk about that one later. And do you think Joelson or another important player will leave us in the summer? And if yes, who would you buy as a replacement for that player? A legend you would bring back, and who do you think? And do you think Joelson's leaving? Steph, I'll pass the one off to you.
So a legend I would bring back. So it could be retired or okay. So that's an easy one, or an active player. Hey, Danny, you froze. Yeah, estavas com a boca aberta, meu.
I had a feeling I was lagging.
Yeah, a little. So definitely.
Yeah.
If I could bring Cristiano Ronaldo, that's a no-brainer. I would bring him back. I don't think he wants to come back. I mean, he's how much does he make? 30 million a year.
Just from Juventus, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be half of our budget. The second question was, what was the second question?
Do you think Joelson's leaving, or another important player will leave us in the summer?
I'm not against any player leaving, because that's why you have when you make players, you make deals with the players, with the contracts. And that's why you have the release clause. So if it's 45 million, now I believe it's 45 million for Joelson and most of the players. The only one that's at 60 million is Giovanni Borges. So if somebody calls Sporting and says, hey, we want to buy Joelson for 45 million, we have no say. But as long as they pay 45 million and not a penny less, I don't like the deals of objectives and goals, and if they win the championship, if they qualify for the Champions League. No, it's 45 millions and no less, especially from a British team. Arsenal seems to be the one interested in Joelson Fernandes. As long as you pay 45 million for 17 years old, I don't think that's a bad piece of business.
Exactly. That's really a bargain nowadays compared to the youngsters. I'll quickly get into the comment left by Walt for that question. He would bring back Peter Schmeichel or Balakov. He thinks we're going to lose against Benfica. And he says, in terms of an important player leaving or Joelson, he says, yes, Acuna and anyone else above 5 million, as these directors are lost. And last Twitter question before we get into one on YouTube here from our boy Francisco, but comes in from Football No Filter. Our boys Steph, Bruno, and oh my God, the Benfiquista Jorge.
Yes.
Our friends over there. They ask how many reinforcements does Sporting need to buy and which sectors. He also asks 45 million for Joelson. Is that a good deal? So Christian, I'll pass the one off to you.
What I wish we would do is like a classic English championship overhaul where we're like half the team is out and like we bring in 12 players, 6 of them on freeze, and spend a little bit. It's like low key. We should just do that. It's like there's so much shit that we need to get rid of. You need to accept that you're not making money back on several of them, like Eduardo, maybe Doumbia, maybe like Rostovsky, Rozier. Like you gotta cut your losses at some point with a lot of these guys. Netu, I don't know what the plan is for a lot of them. The ones that I do think are gonna leave are most likely Acuna, and I think Acuna is definitely gone. Kawats maybe, and Nuno Mendes maybe. Like there's no way that he can play that good and like not like get serious. Like Sporting's gonna have to fend off serious interest if he does stay, because like he's just been phenomenal. It's like if I can watch him and identify that, like you think that scouts at Juventus and Man U and whoever the fuck else can't see that. No, they can obviously see that too. I actually saw that like Juventus like was sniffing around because he's really fucking good. And he's played. It's not like he played like one game and did that. He's done that in like 8 games at this point, so it's not a fluke. So
yeah, agreed. And last question comes in from Francisco Mach on YouTube. He asks, overall, what do you guys think about the tactic system of Ruben Amorim? I don't like it that much. Not having a specific attacking midfielder or a striker that supports makes the attack kind of weak. I think he brings in a good point there. I like 3 at the back though, so I'm a big fan of it. I just think we don't have the right personnel personally. But Steph, I'll give that one to you as well. What are your thoughts on the tactic system of Ruben Amorim?
I think I like it personally, but you have to have the right players for that tactic, and that's why Ruben Amorim he already has a list of players he desires for his tactic. But I'm a strong believer you should have more than one tactic. So far, he's used the 3-4-3 heavily, but I would like him to use the typical traditional 4-4-1 or 4-3-2. And I'm pretty sure he has that on his playbook. But these 10 games, we got what we wanted as fans, which was Ruben Amorim to give a chance to the youth to show what they got, and he gave a chance to pretty much everyone to show him what he's got. And I think seriously, in a very negative note, some players will be cut, and some players will be loaned, and some players will not like it. But if we want Sporting to run for the title race, it's not going to be with this team. Let's be completely honest. It's not going to be with this team. Finishing third, it's just because the rest of the league is shit. Or fourth. We could finish fourth, actually. But let's be optimistic, and let's say we finish third. But that's because Braga wasn't that great either. Guimarães, Rio, Famalicão, no one was expecting them to do so great. We kind of suspected they would have a good team because Mendes was involved. But Belenenses, the fake one, Vitória de Setúbal, all those teams, they performed below average. Sporting was the most average. A lot more was expected from our club. And Ruben Amorim is the right coach for Sporting. But I'm gonna bet that I don't play poker, but if I was a betting man, we're gonna see a lot of changes in our club for next for this preseason for season 2020-21, if we want to run for the title race. And that's it.
Yeah, agreed. Lauren just quickly asks, has Miguel Luis been in the squad? Listen,
he was most recently
on
this
on the bench.
Game. He was on the bench. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We did question his life. We were concerned.
He's alive.
We were concerned, and then he like that picture where something was happening. Oh, it was someone's birthday, maybe. It was like a group picture, and Miguel Luis was identified in that picture, and it was the first time he had appeared in about 2 months. So I understand why you were questioning if he's alive or not, but I can confirm he was alive at least.
He is.
On Monday, he was alive. Last seen Monday.
Exactly. Unless it was a weekends at Bernie's sort of situation where he's dead but just on the bench. He's still breathing. All right. The next question, nothing. The starting lineup for the Setúbal game. Of course, Sporting played Setúbal and drew 0-0 on Monday. Last game at José Alvalade for the season. The lineup was as followed. We had Luís Max in net, Eduardo Quaresma, Sebastian Coates making his 200th appearance in a Sporting jersey. So a round of applause for our capitão. And Marcos Jacunha in the back. We had Ristovski and Nuno Mendes on the wings. or as wingbacks, with Wendell and Mateus Nunes in the midfield, with Gonzalo Plata, Chic Geraldes, and Tiago Tomás up top, with substitutions of Lucian Vieto coming back from injury, Pedro Mendes for the last 10-ish minutes, and Jolson Fernandes. A Stubal who's fighting for survival, but we are also still fighting for our Europa League spot. Christian, I'll start it off with you. What were your thoughts on this game, dude?
Stubal played despite being in a position where it's you got to get a point here at least. You maybe even have to win. They came out 11 at the back. So that's Stubal. That's Stubal's 8th 0-0 game of the season. A third of their games end 0-0, and they just shithouse their way there. And now they've shithoused their way a point from safety. So they control their own destiny against Bologna Sad, who's now safe. So the game doesn't matter to them. So Stubal is in, honestly, prime position to save themselves now.
I don't think so, actually, because Tondela beat... I think Stubal's still in the... Oh, no, you're right. My bad. Portimonense is there. My bad.
Yep. So Portimonense, who's been playing great, but just finally... had a bad game this most recent match day, lost. They now find themselves back in the relegation zone because Stubal shithoused the draw in Alvalade unexpectedly. I mean, I guess that's one way to save yourself. They still haven't won in 14 or 15 games, but they may do just enough just doing that, I guess. But as far as the game itself, it was very much like the Moreirense game, which we also massively struggled in. Similar dynamics. One team is just packing it in, and we just don't have enough creativity, firepower to break them down. And I say break them down because we didn't even create enough chances. Not only were we just unable to score, but we were pounding on the door the whole game. No, it wasn't like that. We couldn't create chances. It was 80% possession in the second half. I mean, it just it was everything but the final ball and that last bit of quality. Funny enough, the only bit of quality that occurred in the final third was Vieto hitting a half volley after the whistle and it going in. By the way, that's not a foul, and Stubal players. I
was going to bring that up, actually, yeah.
Yeah, the way the Stubal players just collapsed, time wasted. The whole thing was a disgrace. From the beginning, the whole 11 at the back, and then just waste as much time as you can. See, this guy's making subs in the 93rd minute to waste time. It was just ridiculous. It's sad. But yeah, it's funny that the only quality in the final third came after the whistle and didn't count. But Tiago Tomás, invisible. I mean, so many performances were just mediocre. Plata, I thought, was fairly mediocre again. Wendell was actually pretty good. I thought Wendell and Acuna were probably the two best. Geraldes was actually not bad either. He was just lacking that last bit of quality, like everyone else. He had a couple good moments in the first half where he dribbled through a couple guys, and then just that through ball was just a little bit too far, and that pretty much summed up the whole thing. For every decent individual moment, it was followed up by just not quite enough quality. So yeah, it sucks. And like we touched on earlier, not taking care of business in this game just puts us in precarious. I guess it's not precarious because we do still control our own destiny, but just you've done this to yourself, and you've now made a game against the second place team, your arch rival, away, matter and need to get a result out of it, as opposed to not having to worry about it because you couldn't take care of one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. How about you, Steph?
Well, I mean, Chris said it all. Very disappointing game, very boring game. It looked like we say in the Portuguese gíria, solteiros contra casados. it was clear that Lich Vidigal he came with a system of 4-2-3-1, super defensive. But I don't blame him because he was hired just for the final 3 games to keep Stubble in the first league. Because if Stubble goes to the second league, pretty much that's it. Stubble is done because financially they are in trouble. So they need to stay in the first league for money purposes, to get the money from the TV rights and the sponsors and all that stuff. The minute they drop, they will lose all that cake. So it's imperative that they stay in the first league. So I don't blame the anti-jogo. I don't blame the players faking injuries. That's all part of the game. It sucks. As fans, we don't like to see that. But it's up to Sporting this was 94 minutes, which the 4 minutes was kind of a joke. It should have been at least 7 to 8 minutes, all the time that was wasted. So the referee, he was really Nuno Almeida, or Ferrari Vermelho. He screwed Sporting on that chapter of the game. I don't get it. Why, when Porto needs more minutes and Benfica needs more minutes, they get like 8, 9, 10 minutes. But when it comes to us, and everyone saw how much time the goalie was wasting. All the players on defense, as soon as they got a little push or a little shove or a little touch, they would roll down on the pitch and waste 30 to 35 seconds. When you add everything up together, it's a lot of minutes they wasted. The playing time, again, it was like 42 minutes or 43 out of 94 minutes, which it's less than 50%. And that's embarrassing because as a fan, when you pay your ticket to go watch, or when you pay the cable bill to watch a game, you want to see a good game. But again, I understand that. It's part of the game. It was up to Sporting to find solutions to crack that super defense, the autocarro that was parked in front of Stubble's goal net, and we couldn't do it. Like Chris said, the deadly combination between Nuno Mendes and Giovanni was not available for this game, and the players we had on the pitch, I'm highly disappointed. I thought that Matheus Nunes actually played pretty good, carrying the ball and all that stuff. But apart from that, Wendell was way off. That was one of his most terrible games. Francis Geraldo didn't take opportunity of this game. Plata, highly disappointed. Tiago Tomás, he's only 17. He needs to get to know the team, get to know how to play in the first league. As maldades de jogar contra equipas da primeira divisão. It's totally different than playing for the sub-23 or sub-17, in this case. Coates was okay. Quaresma was average. Acuna, I was expecting more for him too. It looks like our team, we have non-professional players. They can't even take a shot from the outside of the box. And then the substitutions were terrible. I mean, Vieta was way off. His vision was way off. When we needed him the most, he was not there. And then who else came in? Joelson Fernandes came into the game, but he was limited as well with so many players. We can expect this kid now to resolve our problems when we couldn't solve them in 67 minutes. That's when he came in. There's a lot of work to be done. And Ruben Amorim, I think he'll be able to accomplish those goals, which is I'm not going to say the Sporting will be champion next year, but a team to be at least competitive. That when we play against Porto and Benfica and Braga, we're not shitting, on our pants and trembling and oh my God, how is it going to be? That we can remain competitive and which means we're going to have to sell certain players and buy certain players in different sectors because this team so far doesn't give us any guarantees. Do we have some youth that they are promising? Yes, we do. But they will not be good enough to compete in 4 different competitions, which is Liga NOS, Taça da Liga, UEFA, and Taça Portugal. So that it's a long season, which is supposed to start, I believe, the 20th of September. I saw some dates. And the League Cup actually will be, the proposal is only 8 teams. The six top of Liga NOS and the 2 top of the second league. That's the proposal. It's not definite yet. The clubs have to vote on it, but if they say yes, it'll be less games, which I think it's good, and they will be playing in December. They put some dates, but nothing has been approved yet. But I think that's a good solution. I don't think they should get rid of the cup. It won't be played at Braga. Finally, I think.
Thank God.
I know. I think that was so fucked up that they keep on giving it to Braga.
Stupid.
So So it looks like it might be in Coimbra, Leiria. Three different cities bidded for the Cup League, which is good. That's the way it should be. It should be different cities in Portugal and give those cities time to promote it. And I'm pretty sure it will be successful. If you give a whole year for, let's say, if Coimbra wins the bid, they have a whole year to advertise it. And then even me, I could say, hey, honey, you want to go to Portugal for this weekend? If Sporting makes it that far, I mean, I think that's a good move by the Liga. But coming back to this game, it was a very boring game. I was actually supposed to go to the beach with the family, and I regret not going because after the game, eu estava com uma pilha de nervos. I just had to go walk around the neighborhood to get my stress.
We almost lost. Remember?
I was gonna say,
and the Cunha. Wendell gave the ball.
Yeah.
Imagine if we fucking lost this game, dude. We could then the possibility of us getting a draw. If that would be, we'd be not even tied with Braga, they'd be ahead of us. But I think we lose out on the tiebreaker to Braga anyways. So
we do.
We have to equal or best their result.
And we
won against Braga at home, but we lost in Braga.
Yeah, we won 1-0 and lost 2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
So it's 2-2, but they have the away goal from in our lab.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, we shouldn't have won that game. We should have lost like 4-1, and somehow we won.
Yep. was that was Kaiser still, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like one of the earliest games of the season, right?
Yeah. I think that was like the third jornada or something. Yeah. Anyways, I was just about to mention that Setúbal almost walked away with it. So we also have to. Braga also faced Porto, and Porto at least put on a performance this weekend. So we can maybe depend on Porto for that. But Steph, I was just gonna ask you. Christian already mentioned it, and I agree with Christian's views. But what were your thoughts on the foul outside the box on Pedro? Well, Pedro Mendes fouled the Setúbal player just before Coates headed it to Vieto, and Vieto had a half volley go in, but the referee obviously blew the whistle too soon. Do you think that was the right decision, wrong decision? What were your thoughts on that, dude?
And that's the culture of the Portuguese league. The referees they have the whistle too close, and they just way too fast in blowing the whistle. And once he blew the whistle, the play was dead. There's nothing the VAR can do. There's nothing nobody can do, because once it's blown, it's dead. And that's a good way. I hate to say it this way. I don't think it was applied on this game. But that's a good way to still control referees and still keep the corruption alive. It's one of the ways that a corrupt referee could, purposely blow the whistle, kill the play, and the VAR can even intervene. It's still, there's still room for some referees that will allow themselves to be bribed, which I don't think it was the case on this one. I think on this case,
No, this is just incompetence.
Yes, exactly. Incompetence total.
It's like how I mean, after the 9th Stubble player does a dive, it's like at what point do you figure out that they're just diving? I guess you don't because he never did. But at what point how many minutes would it take a normal person to figure out what was going on?
I'm laughing about the comment from José Costa, the George to the Australian saying, waking up at 4 a.m. para ver aquela merda, what a waste of time for this.
They ought to be paying you for that, man.
Estavas melhor a dormir, man.
Oh, man. I seriously told my wife, listen, I'm not going to the beach because Sporting plays today. And her response was, oh, you're still wasting your time watching it? And, I should have listened to her, because that game really, really took me down, man. It really took me down because it was one of those games that, give it all, guys. Fucking A, man. Just get it done. Get the fucking third place locked in.
Last game at home.
Let's move on. Yeah, so now you put a lot of pressure on these young players to go study the lose, even though it's empty. But it's a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they can handle the pressure. Honestly, I don't think we will win a study the lose. I want to as a fan, but I don't think we equipped for that kind of
We're
pressure.
going to need the double streams up because the second game is going to be more important, honestly, than our game. Because I don't think we're going to win, which means I don't think we're going to control our own destiny, and that includes a draw. So we're going to have to have our eye on the other one.
The only thing we need is a draw. So
no, a draw doesn't. If they win, a draw doesn't.
If they win, we're fucked. Yeah.
No. A draw is enough.
No, it's not because then we'll have the same.
We're 2 points.
3 points ahead.
2.
We have 3. We have 60. They have 57. So a draw is enough.
Oh, okay. You're right. My bad.
So a draw is enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we
lost,
tied.
Yeah, right. They lost this weekend. We tied. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a loss.
Yeah.
Right. My bad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but you know how it is when we need a tie and we play defense. That's when we lose.
Exactly. And like you mentioned, you don't think the player. I'm with you. I don't think these young players are ready for prime time either. I don't think the pressure will handle it. And clear prime example was against Porto. We had a solid 10 minutes in the beginning, and then the moment Porto started to really control the game, you can see the heads lost. And this was with our best players in. I mean, it's safe to say Jovan is our best player now. Young, but he's one of our better players. We had Sporar in there, and he seemed lost. We still had a back line of Coates in there, and I mean Coates did well, but obviously leading that back line, especially with Quaresma, no Mathieu, it's going to be a big ask. And again, like you said, I don't think the youngsters are ready as well. And I mean, even the professionals we had in the beginning of the season weren't ready as we lost 5-0. My only fear is that repeating. Because now with Jorge Jesus coming in, and I guess we can transition into that. With Jorge Jesus coming in, I think Jorge Jesus is known for his first season at a club, them being lights out. We're prime example of that. We should have had a league if it wasn't for other circumstances that Varandas refuses to talk about, of course. But we should have had a league in 15-16 with Jorge Jesus' first year. Now Benfica have him. I don't know if he's going to be on the bench. I haven't heard anything about it. I guess more on to tomorrow. I don't know if Benfica had a rest day today or not. Maybe that's why Jorge Jesus wasn't at practice. But Jorge Jesus confirmed at Benfica. He's in Portugal. We'll see if he's at training tomorrow. I don't see a Benfica without him for the Taça de Portugal at least. So it'd be interesting to see if he does play against Sporting or not. But I think, or not play, but he does coach against Sporting or not. But
I hope he plays.
I hope he plays too.
Really fast. So the game Sporting Braga back in 2019, which was on August 18th, the coach was Kaiser.
Yeah.
We won 2-1. Wendell, Bruno Fernandes scored, and Wilson Eduardo scored for Braga. Yeah, and I agree with Chris. I saw that game. We shouldn't have won the game. I don't even know how we pulled it off.
Yeah.
And then the 2015 and season in 16, we still might get that championship. Hold your horses. The system is the justice system. I don't trust them, of course. So I'll give it maybe a 5% chance.
I'm saying we should have, though. That's all I'm saying. We should have had that.
No.
We broke the points record. We
did. We tied with it. They broke it.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Oferecemos 40 mil euros para não rematar contra o Benfica. That was against Marítimo. That's still the court system. All I'm saying is, even Bruno Carvalho brought it up in one of his podcasts, because you guys know he does a podcast now.
Yep.
And he brought it up that 2015 and 16 season, there's still a lot of court cases pending. So it's taken a while. So we'll see. We shall see. But that's it. That's all I wanted to mention.
Hopefully when they make a decision on that in 2030, we've won the league by then, so it won't be the first one.
The same way they did to Gil Vicente, bro. They fucked them over like 8 years ago, brought them up this year. Before Benfica, actually, let me just ask you guys if you have a man of the match. I'll give mine to Wendell, even though he almost fucked us right at the end.
No, I don't. The whole team was shitty.
Deserved. How about you, Chris?
I'm gonna go Acuna. I just thought he had more quality than the average person out there, and he was clearly, like a class above most of them. I kind of like him at that left center back spot.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's go into Benfica. We all mentioned I'm not confident in a win either, or even a draw. I think we all mentioned that. The only good thing going for us right now currently is Benfica have yet to sign Slimani. They have yet to sign Cavani. They have yet to sign Messi. Apparently, they're linked to everybody nowadays. Bruno Fernandes, Gelson Martins. Though I was going to say Ruben Smith. He's almost going to Porto. We can maybe talk about that in a bit. But your overall thoughts, especially on this Jorge Jesus to Benfica thing, do you think he's going to be on the bench? What's the likelihood of him being on the bench? And do you think it'll make a big difference with him on the bench opposed to Verissimo? Because they did win a big 4-0 against a Aves who haven't been paid in months, mind you, with that whole...
Some shit happened.
Funniest soap opera that's been going on, of course, just before they play Benfica. But anyways, what are your guys' thoughts? Steph, I'll start with you.
Okay, so on the Aves Benfica game, let's set it straight. It's not Benfica's fault by any means. The Aves was owned by an owner that pulled off and sold everything, and he said "fuck Aves," basically. So my sympathy to Aves. They try the players. They try to honor the club by staying and. The remaining 2 games, which they played against Benfica. Now they're trying to find a way to go all the way to Algarve and play against Portimonense. But a lot of players have resigned. So they're relying on the Câmara Municipal de Aves to help them. So a lot of sympathy to them because apparently somebody stole the Portuguese Cup.
And the bus keys.
And the keys
to the stadium.
I think the Taça Portugal was stolen by Juveleu or something because it's ours. Yeah. It deserved to be ours. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Steph.
No. I got you. No. So a lot of sympathy for Aves, but in a sense, what we see, the whole world sees it. So if you're a player from outside Portugal, you're asking yourself, do I want to play for that shitty league?
Yeah.
Do I want to be involved in such a turmoil and a league that doesn't give any guarantees? So it's not good publicity. It makes our league weaker than it already is. We have a weak league as it is. I mean, we had no club going more than what oitavos finais, the Liga Europa. That's it. We really sucked in all competition, Champions League, Europa Liga. So it's not a good thing. Jorge Jesus coming back to Benfica. It shows that the president of Sporting Lisboa Benfica, Luís Filipe Vieira, is a mentiroso, is a fucking liar. He lies to his teeth. All he's concerned about is the elections coming up. I spoke to some great Benfiquistas, the ones I respect immensely, and they see it. They see it. They see what's going on. They see the truth behind it. He wants to win the elections, and he thinks that's the way to do it. So he went to get back JJ after he tried to sue him for $14 million because apparently JJ had stolen software from Benfica and laptops. And now that doesn't matter anymore. Jorge Jesus himself, he lacks of character. He lacks a backbone. He's also a liar. I'll never respect that man ever again. And it's not because he left Sporting, he's going back to Benfica. It's what he said when he came to Sporting about Benfica. He said they were corrupted. He said, eu sei muita coisa. In one of our games against Benfica, he turned to the fourth referee, and I have a video on my phone for those people that they are very forgetful when it's convenient, of course. Certain Benfiquistas, not all, because a lot of Benfiquistas don't approve this move of JJ going to Benfica. But he said it himself to the fourth. Eu que sei muita coisa. Vê lá, se queres que eu conte. And that same day, Luís Filipe Vieira disse, enquanto eu for presidente do Benfica, ele nunca voltará a treinar o Benfica.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
And here he comes again, and now he's the coach of Benfica. So he makes the president of Benfica a fucking liar, and he is a liar, and he's a thief, and he's very corrupted on a personal basis. And to me, if I was Benfiquista, I would be pissed. I would want him out of my club because he's using the good name of the institution, which I respect a lot, Sporting Lisboa Benfica. He's using Benfica. He's wasting a lot of money. And Benfiquistas are blinded because all they want, like Sportingistas, I'm assuming, is win. All we want is win at the end of the day. But they blinded. This guy's wasting so much fucking money. A private jet to go to fucking Rio de Janeiro to pick him up and bring. That costs us money. And now they ask for a loan of $60 million to the bank. It's ridiculous what's going on at Benfica. And a lot of Benfiquistas are waking up. But you still have a big percentage of Benfiquistas. They still support this guy, amazingly or not, because people sometimes they lose the reality of life, which is the reality is this guy wants to win, and no matter what, it doesn't matter if he brings Benfica down, and that's what he's doing. You know, a lot of titles at Benfica. I know my Benfica friends don't like when I say this, but they were won via corruption. Everybody knows that. They don't want to admit it, and then they stick to the narrative of alguma vez foi isso provado. Nunca foi provado because, number one, they don't let Rui Pinto talk. Number two, the judicial system in Portugal is worse than the judicial system in Somalia, which is non-existent in Somalia. So you know, with everything said, I had a lot of respect for a lot of Benfiquistas, which I lost, and I have more respect for a lot of Benfiquistas that I know that I still have a lot of respect for them because they see what's going on. And last but not least, one of the Benfiquistas, which is Araújo, is a comedian in Portugal, well-known comedian on TV and all that. he said it himself, and I put the article and I posted on Facebook. But himself, he said it, that he's against this move of JJ coming back to Benfica, and the reason why he's against it, it's because when he left, he should have never left. He was one of the best coaches at Benfica. But the reason why Luis Felipe Vieira didn't renew the contract, because Sporting didn't steal him for Benfica. Luis Felipe Vieira didn't want him at Benfica no more at the time. So what happened was, he said, este não é treinador que aposta na formação, este não é treinador que vai fazer equipas para a gente sermos campeões da Liga Europa e da Champions League, este não é treinador do futuro para o Benfica. And here we go. Everything he said, which now with social media, it's easy to go back and track down. So to those Benfiquistas that eat a lot of cheese, we can show it to you and prove it to you that this was said. If your narrative is, o futebol é moderno, isso acontece, isto é assim, a vida é assim, then you lack a character, my friend. You shouldn't even be a soccer fan. You should dedicate yourself fishing, to Sandy Hook, whatever beach you like the most. But seriously speaking, and I didn't want to waste so much time on this, but this really bothered me because people, they think we dumb and we forget about shit like that. I'm just going to quote something else. This is what he said in one of the games against Benfica. Eu conheço. Olha que eu sei de muita coisa. Atenção, eu sei muitas coisas do ano passado. Isso foi dito por José Jesus a 1 de novembro de 2015. And then he said, Luís Felipe Vieira, no dia 6 de julho de 2019, this is what he said. Enquanto eu for presidente, ele jamais voltará a treinar o Benfica. And what happened? He's back at Benfica. This is, and then I'm going to quote one more thing, and that's it. Okay, so this document was exclusivo do sábado. Todos os processos do Benfica contra Jorge Jesus. A ação judicial tem quase 100 páginas. Lança mistério sobre telefonemas do treinador para um funcionário do Sporting e acusa-o, o Benfica acusa-o de levar software. O clube avança com 9 testemunhas e exige 14 milhões de indemnização. Okay, so, my friends, now, why the fuck do you support this president, and why the hell do you want JJ back when he said so much shit about your club, when he was at Sporting, calling you corrupted, that you won titles indeed via corruption? It goes beyond my understanding. Why the fuck do you support this president? I have no fucking clue. If you really want to win, and it doesn't matter how you win, and corruption is accepted, then of course, support them. But in my book, you're not my friend. In my book, you're not a good person. In my book, you're not bom chefe de família. In my book, não vales merda nenhuma. That's how I'm done.
100%. Well said, Steph. Well said. Before passing it off to Chris, I just have 2 points quickly to make. One is both of them are towards the media. One, I question why the media never brought up the exact saying that you brought up, Steph. Eu sei muita coisa. Not once was it brought up before. I hope somebody has the balls to bring it up now because it deserves to be brought up. And two, Steph talked about a $60 million loan that they're asking for, private jets to Rio de Janeiro. I ask, why is nobody questioning? They were so quick to throw Bruno Carvalho under their bus for all shit because of Facebook posts. Why is nobody questioning Jorge Jesus, who 2 years later goes to a rival where he was laying down against Marítimo, that rival that he's now playing at or now coaching at, just won 40 million euros because of that one game that he refused to make changes on. That one game that I hope no Sportingista
literally
exactly injured since the 8th minute, refuses to change him. refuses to change him. Exactly. So the fact that I hope the media now has the balls to bring that up, because I find it really bullshit that's the case.
And if the media doesn't bring it up on their own, the president of Sporting is well within his right to bring it up. Like, is he going to do anything about it?
No way. He said during elections he has a lot to talk about 15, 16. He's been fucking quiet.
This is a great time to do it. If you're going to do it, now is the perfect time.
Yeah, you got it. It is a perfect time now.
But will he do it? No, he's not. Let's be real.
He's got, I mean, it gets to a certain point where it's like, he's got what, like 2 months? Like, once Jesus has been there for another season, it's like, it's weird if you start bringing it up like a year after he's already been there. It's like, do it right now, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do it
Anyways,
next month.
Yeah,
the name of the really fast.
No, my
bad. The name of the Benfiquista that is totally against JJ coming back and Luis Vieira, he hates Luis Vieira, Ricardo Araújo Pereira. And he said, and then I'm going to send it to you, the link. É a demonstração definitiva de que Vieira não tem rumo para o Benfica. And then it's a long article. I'm not going to read it. But, you know, in a nutshell, he basically said that, you know, Luis Vieira claimed that he had no conditions to train Benfica anymore because era a verdade e o Jorge Jesus não aposta nos jovens e no clube não tem dimensão europeia. É esse o projeto Benfica, and that's why he kicked him out of the club. And now they got him back. So I'll send it to you. It's only in Portuguese, but I know you guys know how to read Portuguese. This is from a Benfiquistas that have been sócios do Benfica por mais 20 e tal anos. And he's seeing this, and I don't know why most of the fucking Benfiquistas don't see it. It's like, is it that important for you to win via corruption? It doesn't matter how you win. Corruption is the only way for you, because that's why your club is known for now. It's fucking corruption with this fucking president. He sucks. Like, Pinto Costa is the same shit. I hate him too. He's not good for Portuguese soccer. And I hate to tell you, I don't want to see Bruno Carvalho back in soccer either. His cycle is over. Thank you so much. But towards the end, he was a nutcase. He created a lot of problems for our Sporting. I respect him as a man and a citizen. I think Sporting should give him back o cartão sócio, of course, because he was proven in court he was innocent. But I don't want him back just because, you know, what he did. Thank you, but it's over.
And it's too much of a Listen, we're desunido as we are now with Bruno Carvalho at the club. It might be even worse than Varandas. Unless we win the league right away, it might be even worse, like union problems, if you will. But anyways.
Yeah,
Christian.
I'm done. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Christian, go.
Yeah, I mean, just the one that, I mean, you pretty much touched on all the goings on at Benfica. Just the one thing that I want to bring attention to, and I've been calling it out to these guys on in our group chat, but just like the narrative around Benfica and their finances in the past month has just completely done a 180. So like the whole, like, first off, firing Bruno Lage was incredibly expensive, and they're still gonna have to be paying him for like 2 years going forward. Because they had just signed into a 5-year contract renewal. He definitely wasn't cheap. So that's the first thing. So that was like post-COVID. It's like, oh, Benfica might be selling now. They're in second. They're conceding. They're going to cut the salary. They're going to make some sales. They're going to contract a local coach to save money. And then all of a sudden, overnight, they have all this money for Jesus. All of a sudden, they're getting linked to players like Cavani and James Rodriguez. So I can't even imagine how much those salaries of those players make. I believe Cavani's out of contract. So you don't have to pay a transfer fee there. But what you're gonna pay him like $15 million a year, and James
and a signing bonus.
And James he still has a contract where you're gonna pay $50 million and then pay him $12 million a year. Like, it's crazy. I truly, I mean, like, I'm asking this genuinely, like, where did Benfica get all this money in the past like 2 weeks? And just like it's like the same outlets that were reporting on the salary cuts and the moves that Benfica seem to be making are just like not even questioning. They're just printing that they're interested in these players as if like we're not supposed to notice that doesn't make any sense. Like, since when has any club in Portugal ever had financial spending power like that? And plus, Benfica is not even guaranteed that they're getting the 40 million for being in the Champions League. They have to win 2 rounds of qualifying to get into the group stage. So it's like, I don't get it. I truly don't get it. Like, did he make a crazy, ridiculous, like some fucking sweetheart deal to get some money from someone in the past like 2 weeks? Like, I don't know, man. But some weird shit just happened, and Benfica's all of a sudden loaded. So. Watch out, because if they're just splashing out money, they're gonna build a fucking super team this summer. It would appear, because they have unlimited funds now all of a sudden. So, and they're not selling Ruben Diaz and they're not selling Vinicius, who are apparently are each worth 100 million each. So those guys aren't getting sold. So I don't know. It seems like they're committed to some insane project with Jorge Jesus, and they're going. I mean, you thought the Ruben Amorim was an all-in. I mean, this is like a what, like 150 million euro all-in if it happens.
Yeah. Listen, you ask certain Benfiquistas, and they've been asking for a super team for years now from Luis Filipe Vieira. So to certain Benfiquistas, this is realistic. They don't even think about the debt that they have. This should be the Benfica. According to certain Benfiquistas, Benfica should be like the Juventus of Portugal.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah. Hey, I agree with Costa. Jorge Costa with this comment. Yeah, I mean, if Bruno Carvalho wants to go for elections again, and then if he loses, respect the majority. I agree with that statement. I agree with that.
Agreed. And to be fair, there's nobody.
Why Benfica? You know why Benfica has more money? They upped the sell of fucking cocaine.
Yeah, I mean, the global drug trade must be popping off more than usual, because they got a sudden influx of cash.
Either that or they called Liga and they said, hey, the money that you supposed to give us in 10 years, we need it now.
And I don't know if, I mean, I'm sure the listeners remember, but like the era of news when the only thing was the 50 million that Sporting owned the banks and how they were like doing this deal with Apollo, like the way in which the Sporting finances are dove into by the media and scrutinized, and honestly, like,
I know
they're misleading at times. They're often misleading. Like, where are those guys right now? Like, do they? No. It's just sad. Like, and I mean, you would think that they would realize. It's like, oh, yesterday my club is cutting costs. Today they're signing James Rodriguez. Like, if you're a fan, like, does that news cycle make sense to you?
Makes sense to you, exactly.
Yeah. It shows how Benfica controls the media in Portugal, or the media sympathizes with Benfica more. I mean, have you noticed that Porto was champion of Portugal? Did you guys notice that?
Not really, no.
Not really.
Not really.
You know what's more important? JJ foram buscar the jato. JJ just got to Lisbon. JJ is having breakfast. JJ is having lunch. JJ is taking a shit. You know? Yeah. And in the meanwhile, Porto was campeão. Oh shit, Porto was campeão.
That's a good point.
You know, I mean,
yeah, it is.
Benfica controls the media in Portugal, and I have no respect for the fucking media in Portugal. They're embarrassing. They are embarrassing.
The American newspapers have written more articles exposing Luis Vieira than the Portuguese.
Yeah.
The New York Times specifically. The New York Times specifically.
And you know what? You know what Benfica said? O gajo deve ser Sportingista portista.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's like an Indian sports reporter who lives in London.
Yeah, exactly.
nem com bifes nem nada.
Anyways, guys, a quick score prediction on the Benfica game, and then I'll also ask you about the Porto game. But first, Benfica Sporting. I'm going with a respectable 2-1 loss. It's never respectable when it's a loss to those fucks. But anyways, how about you, Steph?
I'm gonna say 2-2.
I would like that. How about you, Christian?
I was gonna say 1-1. A kind of ugly 1-1, but I guess that would get the job done. So
I'm here for
I'll
it.
take
I'm
it.
here for a draw.
Yeah.
Also, we have to mention Porto Braga. Of course, if Braga win and we lose, there's a possibility. There's not a possibility. We fall into fourth, which is the playoffs for the Liga Europa. So, what are your predictions on that game?
Third qualifying round. Not even
third qualifying. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus. So, anyways, yeah. What are your thoughts, Christian? They're gonna win at least.
I think they're going to draw. I think they're going to draw 2-2.
Fair enough. How about you, Steph?
I think Porto is gonna win. Actually, I think they will win. They have no pressure whatsoever. They're already champion of Portugal. They want to finish in a positive high note. I think they will win. I would say 2-1 or 1-2.
I'd hope so. And last but not least, we'll go into the relegation battle on Sunday. It's Portimonense against Aves, which is going to be interesting in itself. And then Setúbal, Belenenses are obviously safe now. And then Moreirense, Tondela, 33 points. Not necessarily safe, I don't think. Let me just double check
No, they're not safe.
Scoring record. They're not safe.
Mm-mm.
So they could be overpassed by a miracle, but they still could be overpassed. Of those three, Tondela, Setúbal, and Portimonense. Again, I'll ask you. I've been asking for the last few podcasts, but everything seems to change. Who's going down, guys? I'm saying I wanted Tondela, but I don't think it's possible. I'm saying Setúbal.
Really? I think it is Portimonense now. I think Setúbal with the draw saved themselves because now they're going to play Belenenses sad, and Belenenses sad, it doesn't matter to them anymore.
Fair.
But I'm guessing they're still going to play the exact same way that that game will be literally unwatchable. Belenenses sad, not caring versus Setúbal just parking the bus. Like they're just gonna pass it around for 90 minutes. Like no shots will be registered. So let's just say that they draw then, and that brings Setúbal to 32 points. Basically, if Portimonense wins, then they can stay up. But if Setúbal wins, then they're probably going to be fucked.
I think the only reason I say Setúbal is because I think Portimonense wins Aves. And I think Tondela, even if they lose, 33 points, they're safe. Like in my eyes, at least.
So I mean, the
I would love
might be on
Tondela
Setúbal to actually win the game, because if you just assume that Aves is going to lose, then you have to win because the draw doesn't do it anymore. So, I mean, if Setúbal has to win a game, what will they even do? You know, do they even have strikers?
They know how to attack. Like, how about you, Steph?
I think Setúbal has the upper hand and Tondela has the upper hand, and I think Portimonense is in trouble, even though they're playing against a trouble team. Aves, when everyone knows what's going on. The only thing that Setúbal and Tondela have to do is win their games. If they win their games, they'll stay. If they don't, then you're giving Portimonense a chance. So my guess is Portimonense is gone. They're going to the second leg. And I think Setúbal will win a shitty game, with a shitty goal. I mean, they will win.
They haven't won since January. How can they win? They literally can't win.
Miracles happen every day, Chris.
I think they're going to buy a bottle of Porto wine, like 80 years old, and a todo gás, caralho. Aquilo vai dar muita peito, feijoada e o caralho. They're going to win that game. I'll bet you leitão, caralho.
All right.
Did you hear what I said?
What do you
say?
Leitão.
Abon leitão in Philadelphia or what?
Well, in Delaware. I live in Delaware.
In Delaware? Okay, that's good. At least. Yeah, that's good.
But if I win, then I'll have to win a leitão in Toronto, in Philadelphia.
Hey, Toronto has decent leitão. I'm just putting that out there. I would not mind it. Anyways, yeah. And listen, a part of me wants Setúbal to stay up. A historic club, I'd want them to stay up. Just for Jose Mourinho, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe a week ago, he said how he was a Setúbal fan. So
yeah, he always goes to their games.
Yeah, he does. He does, exactly.
I'm not a fan of Mourinho, so.
Então não és português, caralho.
Não. Nasci em França.
Vives em Estados Unidos.
He never liked Sporting. He never liked Sporting, Mourinho. Never.
Yeah. He started his career here.
I know. He never bought one of our players. Never bought one of our players. Have you noticed that? Every club we went to never bought one of our players.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. But I don't know. He kind of shows Sporting respect. I remember the only time I remember was the Chelsea Sporting game where on the Champions League, I believe it was the Champions League, and Chelsea should have beat Sporting like 5-0, but they only won 1-0, and it was because Rui Patricio was, I said his name wrong. Ratu Patricio was on like some shit that game. He was saving everything. And even at the end of the game, he was like, could have been more, but Rui Patricio almost quase estragou a noite. But yeah, hey.
If you go to Stamford Bridge with Naby Sarr and Mauricio and only concede one, I mean, it's a miracle just happened.
Speaking of Naby Sarr, and I'll end it here.
Rest in peace, brother.
Naby Sarr with a fucking ball and a half at Charlton this weekend. Oh,
going down,
my
dude.
God.
Going down to League One. That's his reward.
Who cares? He had a crazy ball. I want him back at Sporting right away. What a fucking pass. Cross field. Perfect.
He may become available if Charlton clears out the roster now.
Honestly, seeing how Varanda's body Lottie, Varanda's might buy Sarr, to be honest, too.
Without a luck.
All right. Unless anything else needs to be said. That's podcast number 76 in the books. Another great one, boys. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties in the beginning. Just a special shout out to Jordan B, aka Jordan Bentoncourt, of course. We got Lauren Jenks in the comments, José Costa Jorge, or Ozzy Tuga, Francisco Matas in the comments today. We had David Pereira, Braga's #1 fan. Even though, listen, I hope Braga stays in fourth, buddy. And I'm missing one more person, Juicebox Leal in the comments as well, and Nathan Thompson, and also we had Daniel Baldwin in the comments. Shout out to everybody there. Please follow us on Twitter at Sporting160_EN, on Instagram Sporting160EN, on Facebook Sporting160EN. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for following us and asking the Twitter questions as well to Joel Leão, Alkshit Youth, Nunu Gabriel, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody else. Thank you very much. And let's hope Sporting brings us some happiness this weekend. Viva Sporting.